We're the Julians, and we've been married 10 years in September and together for 14. In 2019, we were pregnant with our second child. 6 months into the pregnancy, we were told that our daughter had a heart defect and she would need to have open heart surgery just days after birth. I got the news at work, and the first person I messaged was Pastor Jake, asking him and the other pastors and staff for prayers.
On the way home from the doctor's appointment, I went through a lot of emotions. The cardiologist informed us of the stats and success rates that come with this type of surgery, but we still couldn't help but think of the worst. What kind of life will she have afterwards? What if she's that 5%? What sort of limitations will she struggle with? I was angry at God. Why would I have to go through something like this after losing my dad to cancer and my grandpa just a few years prior? And now I get handed this. But once we processed the news and reached out for prayers, we felt a peace, a comfort through the night, and for months to come. God speaking to me and telling me it's going to be okay. As terrified as we were in the unknown, we trusted in God and put all our faith in Him, surrounded by our church family. I prayed over every piece of clothing, every trip to the cardiologist, and every follow-up appointment. The Sunday before our delivery, our pastors, friends, and family surrounded us to lay hands on us in prayer. And on April 8th, 2019, Skylin Rhodey arrived. I was able to hold her for a few seconds before she was taken and transferred to Children's Hospital. And that evening, she had a stent placed in her heart to help keep her stable. We spent the next week in the cardiac ICU watching her grow, get stronger, and meeting her big brother.
The cardiologist and surgeon team were actually husband and wife, which is rare in itself, but they were also Christians, and they were not afraid to speak God into our circumstances. Our surgeon prayed with us over our daughter and the surgery, which occurred exactly 1 week after she was born on April 15th. The surgery took 8 hours. To us, it felt like days. But again, the comfort we had in knowing whatever happens, love and support will surround us. And while the surgery was a success, there were still some hard moments ahead in recovery. The sight that really caught me off guard was after spending a week seeing her grow and develop, and to then seeing her hooked up to so many machines that were keeping her alive. It only felt like steps backwards. We knew that we needed the support that we had been leaning on. The doctors told us to expect at least another 2 to 4 weeks of recovery in the ICU, and possibly another week in monitoring before she would be discharged.
And just 1 week after her surgery, our baby girl was taken off all the machines, the tubes, the fluid, and we took her home the day after Easter on April 22nd. The doctors were amazed at how quickly she recovered and how hard she fought. Skylin is now 4 years old and is our strong, sassy heart warrior. She is so smart, funny, and continuing to grow. She looks up to her big brother so much, who continues to be the best at being a loving support system and role model for her.
This story is just one part of our journey, but it's been one of the most important parts for our spiritual growth so far. 2 Corinthians 1:4 says, "He comforts us in all of our troubles so that we can comfort others. When they are troubled, we will be able to give them the same comfort that God has given us." You've got to have people around you that will pray with you and for you continuously and persistently. That's what God did for us. In that moment, we were too broken and distracted to do it ourselves, but over time, those prayers led to comfort and peace in our own hearts that God was going to be there for us, and so was our church family. The blessing and reward He has given us through this is evident, and all we can do is praise Jesus for it.